Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining us today. I'm Sophia with Garden State Film Festival. It is in our 21st year. We have 237 films from 23 countries from March 23rd to March 26th. You can check out these films in Asbury Park. And one of the films you definitely want to check out is this feature film, Daniel's Gotta Die. Here to talk to us about it is the producer of the film, Nicholas Tabarrok.
You
Did
got
I
the
say that name
pronunciation
correctly?
perfect. You
Oh,
did.
good.
You
I
did.
hesitated, but he was teaching me before we started how to say it correctly. Happy I didn't botch that. Nicholas, how are you doing?
I'm great, thanks. I'm great. I'm happy to be here. I'm looking forward to the festival in just over a month, and I'm excited. Yeah, thank you.
Me too. Thank you for taking the time out to talk to me about it. Congratulations to you and everyone involved.
Thank you.
If you can't tell, I've really loved this film and I'm so excited to pick
Thank
your
you.
brain about it.
I'm so happy to hear that.
So before we get into it, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and a little bit about Daniel's Gotta Die?
Sure. So I'm a film producer. I've been doing it a long time. I don't want to say how long because that'll age me, but I've been doing this for a while. I'm Canadian by birth, but have been living in Los Angeles the past 15, 16 years. I'm a dual citizen. Um, I've made a bunch of films, maybe 30 now. And Daniel's Gotta Die, we shot 2 years ago right now, actually. We shot February, March 2021 in the Cayman Islands.
In the Cayman Islands?
Yeah, yeah,
Wow. That was one of my questions where you guys filmed it. It was gorgeous. It
yeah.
looked like such an
So
amazing location.
it's interesting because the film is originally written was sort of set more of a classic cottage. Like, did you see the first Glass Onion, the first Knives Out movie?
Yeah, yes. And that's one of the I was thinking, me and my sister were both like, this reminds us of Knives Out
Okay,
for sure.
good. Well, that's what I mean, our script was written so long ago that it was in no way trying to emulate or copy that. It's pure
Uh-huh.
coincidence. But the original setting was that sort of house. It was like a house in the country surrounded by woods, more of like a cottage cabin kind of feel.
Mm.
And then this opportunity came up to film in the Cayman Islands. And, we spoke to the writer and we said, look, we think the story worked. The story had to be this one family trapped within a house for a weekend. And of course, it worked perfectly well. And you might even say even better in the Cayman Islands. You've got the sunset and the beach and this gorgeous
Right.
home, this gorgeous setting. So it wasn't designed that way. It was sort of a retrofit. But my gosh, I'm so happy for it. Couldn't have been
Yeah,
better.
what a happy coincidence. And
Totally.
it told the story well because obviously it gives you an example of the lifestyle that,
Yeah,
they live.
exactly. Exactly. We should be
Amazing.
so lucky.
Oh my gosh. That's what you love to see as a producer, right? Something kind of just falling into your lap and working out.
Absolutely. I mean, this film, we have to, when we're about to make the movie, we have to provide what's called a chain of title, which is the sort of the whole history of its development for legal purposes to prove sort of what the ownership is. And the reason why I'm telling you all this is because in that, we had to sort of talk about the very first time we optioned the script. And it was 2012. It's just like, oh my God. I remember, with my producing partner, I said, oh my God, 2012, it's taken us 11 years to make this movie,
Wow.
or 9 years, whatever the math is. But that's actually not that abnormal. But so it feels like it came together quickly in some respects, but in other respects, it took us 10 years.
Oh my gosh. So it took you 10 years to kind of put it on its feet and then you filmed it and now we're seeing it 2 years later.
Exactly. That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
Very
Yeah.
impressive. So how did you first originally get into this project?
So it's a really good question because we get scripts from a variety of sources, agents and managers and writers that we have a relationship with and have worked with before. This writer, Matthew Dressel, you may see a cat on camera. It's not my cat. I'm staying at a friend's house, and
Oh,
you have a little guest
okay. Well,
audience
I'll
here.
make sure to have a question for her later.
Okay, yeah. This is very
Adorable.
unplanned. Um, okay, buddy. All right. And this writer, Matthew Dressel, gosh, again, oh my gosh, now I'm stepping on the keyboard. Hang on, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
she's
actually
great. That's totally
don't,
okay.
yeah, I don't know the origin. I guess 2012. I don't remember how it first came to us. I have to confess, we've had it for so long now. I don't know if there's an agent or a manager or sometimes contests. Sometimes we have script contests where we'll notice they won an award here, they won there, so we'll seek it out and we'll say, hey, we saw that your script won at the whatever award. Could we have a read of it? It may be in that. I honestly don't remember the origin of this particular script.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, you've done over 30 films and it's
Yeah,
been, what,
exactly.
10
Can't keep
years.
track of
So
them all.
we won't blame you for not remembering it, but I'm so happy that you became a part of this. Do you know what it like, even though you don't remember how it first kind of happened, do you know what about the script that drew you to this and we're
Oh
like,
yeah,
oh, this is
yeah, yeah.
what I want to
I
produce?
remember that vividly. So my producing partner in the film, we worked together, Leah. She read it first, and she sent it to me and said, "I think this is great, it's charming, it's funny. I think you should read it." And I did, and it was all those things that it's some really witty dialogue, some real fast-paced, fun, witty dialogue, and this great premise. This great premise where the it's a wealthy family. The father's, passed away, and part of the inheritance is this family who are completely dysfunctional. They hate each other. They all have to survive a weekend together in order to get the inheritance. So again, even though our project um, preceded this by 10 years. It has a little bit of Succession in it. I don't know if you watch Succession. It's my favorite show on TV, but a little bit of that, the infighting between the brothers and sisters, and they hate each other, tearing each other apart. I mean, it's awful, awful stuff,
Yeah.
but it's fun to watch, right? It's
So
fun to
good.
be, it's like a car crash, right? You don't want to be in the car crash, but it's fun to watch a car crash.
Oh my gosh. And one of the things, I mean, I love stories with dysfunctional families. I love things
Yeah,
that are unpredictable, that like there's a reason why you want to finish this. You're on the edge of your seat trying to figure out what's happening, and then you're entertained the whole time. So it has everything I love about films. But
that's
one
what
of
we're
the
hoping for.
things, yeah, and one of the things I do love is the characters too. Every
Yeah.
single character in this is so unique, and just I have a favorite character, but I want to ask you your favorite character. But first, how did you get this wonderful cast? You have Bob Saget in this, which is amazing. And obviously, he passed away, unfortunately, the year that you guys put this
Yeah.
out, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mary Lynn Rains,
Right.
Rice Cub,
Yeah.
Joel David Moore. I mean, an amazing cast. So, how did we get this cast?
So they came through a variety of sources. So Joel David Moore had a business relationship as a friendship with the film's financier. So William Santor and his company, Productivity Media Inc., they financed the film. William and Joel had a relationship, and when I brought the script to William as a financier, he said, "What do you think of Joel David Moore?" And I knew him as an actor. I didn't know him personally, but knew him as an actor, knew his work, and I thought he'd be perfect with the lovable, well-meaning son. So that's how he came to it through Will. Jason Jones, who plays Victor, one of the brothers, he's an old friend of mine. Again, I'm afraid to date myself, but we've known each other since the '90s, so we go back 20 years as friends. Mary Lynn and I had made a film together in 2017. So I knew her. We had made a film together. And of course, in addition to making a film with her, from 24 and Punch Drunk Love, I loved her as a fan. I loved her work. The saddest of them, as you alluded to, Bob Saget and I were personal friends, really, really great, longtime personal friends. And so that was a natural for me because, when I read the script, I loved Bob, and we were very, very close, and we were spent a lot of time together. And so when I read the script, I thought of him immediately in the role of the lawyer. I thought he'd just be great as Lawrence, and I sent it to him, and he responded. And it was a wonderful opportunity for the two of us. Two great friends to spend 6 weeks together on this gorgeous island. It was wonderful. And of course, as you said, about a year later, ended very tragically. And then the other cast sort of came together through more traditional. We didn't have prior relationships, didn't have a history, but we just sort of, casting and suggestions from agents and so forth, and we just thought, and everyone, of course, perfect for the roles.
Right.
Doc, actually, who played the mailman, Victor, the boyfriend slash mailman, he's also another great long-term friend of mine, and we've done a bunch of films together. So I thought he'd be perfect in that role. So yeah, just really a variety, people relationships with, and some people that came in, just
Yeah.
cold through agent submissions.
Oh, amazing. I mean, I am so sorry to hear that you and Bob were so close, and I love the dedication you guys have for him, obviously.
Yeah,
So definitely shout out to Bob and his family.
yeah.
Everyone on this film was phenomenal. My favorite character was Mary Lynn's character. Do you
Okay.
have a favorite character in this film?
Obviously, as I mentioned, emotionally, I'm very attached to Bob and his character. And whenever I watch the film, I'm always, my feelings about him overwhelm everything else. But character-wise, if I take that out of it, and character-wise, they're all so fun. They're all so well written. They're all so clever and have their own full embodied personality and synchronicity. I sort of can't pick. I like the ensemble.
You love all of them. Yes.
Yeah.
So as you mentioned earlier, I mean, you've been doing this for years. You made over 30 films. In your bio, I saw that you started with smaller, unusual films. That was the word that was in it. And it kind of grew to these big budget films. And here you are working on stuff like this. What contributed to this expansion in your career? It's a big question, but how did you get here?
Yeah, it's two different things. One is just a natural progression, as you like in any career. You start off sort of the bottom, start off not really knowing what you're doing and fumbling through it, and hopefully you get better and better at it. So part of it, we're just in doing it and knowing more people and knowing more sources of financing and knowing more talent and knowing more agents, just slowly building your own career. That was one thing. And then the second is a deliberate choice to sort of move towards broader appeal material. I started out in this business, really wanted to make this really idiosyncratic, unique, funny, strange little, its own little thing. And they're so hard to do. And it's so hard to find an audience for those kind of movies, that you sort of say, okay, I want to reach audiences. I want people to see these movies. I'm not making it for me alone. So maybe broaden the genre. So go for slightly more traditional genres like Daniel's Gotta Die, which is, more of a family comedy. Sorry, not family in terms of the audience is the family, but a family dysfunctional comedy. Again, we talked about Knives Out, like that. It's very much in that genre and that frame. And obviously that's designed for a big, wide audience, And I know we're here to talk about this film, but I have a second film thing, the Festival of the Baker, and that's a straight up revenge action film, So that also, again, is a very deliberate movement towards making a film where audiences understand the genre and they know what they're getting.
And what do you think makes a good producer? People might be watching this, get inspired by your words, especially when it came to this project too.
So the interesting with producing is, to be a great director or a writer or a cinematographer, a composer, editor, it's a relatively singular skill set. You have to be really good at this one particular thing. Producing, for better or worse, is not like that. It's not a single thing. To be really great, and I don't consider myself amongst the great ones, you really are skilled at a bunch of things. A really good producer has to have a business mind. You can't be a pure left brain artist who can't organize things and can't understand how to read a balance sheet or a budget and can't deal with banks. A lot of producing is dealing with numbers and dealing with banks and watching budgets and so forth. But you also have to be very creative. A good producer makes the script better. A good producer helps the director and assists the director to make things more creative. A good producer has a good eye for casting talent. A really good producer is in the edit room and making suggestions, hopefully making the edit a little better, giving music cues, helping select the music, is involved with the creative process the whole way through. And organization, like it all comes down to the producer pulling all these disparate elements together, the money and the cast and the crew and watching the budget and the gear. So there's a lot of different skills. So you have to have a disparate and varied skill set to be a good producer.
Wow. I mean, I never really knew that. I've worked in film before, never in the position of a producer. And a lot of the time, for the longest time, I thought it was kind of just they put money and they kind of work remotely, send out emails, but they have to be a part of every process and have that both sides of the brain. That's amazing the way you describe that.
Absolutely. And of course, some producers are exactly what you said. Some producers are money people and they write a check, they put money in, or they go and find money from other sources. And we're not really involved that way. But a really good producer, the great ones, they really have a hand in everything.
Wow. So you had a hand in this entire process? You were there for those 6 weeks?
Yeah. Well, first of all, you're invited to, the Cayman Islands during COVID.
How are you going to say no?
COVID.
How are you going to say no?
You're going to say no to that, right? And by the way, the Cayman Islands I want to say the only place in the world. Maybe there are a couple others, maybe New Zealand, but they, because it is an island, because you can close the borders easily, they were COVID free. So in
Wow.
2021, there was no COVID on the island. So in North America, we had, as you remember, masks and everything was shut down, and no coffee shops, no restaurants, no theaters, no bars, all shut. You remember that. In Cayman Islands, we had to quarantine for 2 weeks. So that was not fun. We had to, you did not leave that hotel room for 14 days, and that's not easy. But at the end of the 14 days, it was like the clock had turned back. It was like 2019 all over again. So it was a paradise. For that, I was there 6 months because I made 3 films in a row there, and for that 6 months, especially during the height of COVID, it was glorious.
Oh my gosh. Amazing. I loved talking to you. Unfortunately, we're like running out of time, but I could ask you so many more questions. And I can't believe you just threw in there. You made 3 films in those six
Yeah.
months. You really made use of that time. That's amazing. But my last question for you, I really have to put this in, is how you found out about Garden State Film Festival and how's it feel to have Daniel's Gotta Die screen here?
So I didn't find out about Garden State Film Festival. Garden State Film Festival found out about us, which is to their credit. I'm thrilled and couldn't be happier. The film premiered at the Austin Film Festival in October, and your programmer very kindly saw the movie and reached out and said she loved it and she'd love to play it here. We said we'd be thrilled. So I couldn't be happier. Really, really excited. I just looked down at the calendar. It's like just over a month away, a month and a couple of days away. I haven't booked my flight yet, but I think I'll do that tonight, actually, now that this conversation is inspiring me and exciting me. But I'm really looking forward to being there. And by the way, I'm a huge Bruce Springsteen fan. I am the world's biggest Bruce Springsteen fan.
Oh,
Never been to Asbury Park. So I'm going to walk the steps that he walked. I want to go to the Stone Pony if it still exists. I don't know.
absolutely.
I'm going to go on a Bruce Springsteen tour.
Yes, I'm pretty sure Stone Pony does exist. I should know this because I'm in Asbury all the time, but perfect place to bring it back to Bruce. I am so excited to meet you at this festival. It'll be
Me too.
such an honor. And we hear from Tatiana, it does still exist as Stone Pony.
Yeah,
So
exactly. I'm thrilled.
awesome.
I'll be there.
Oh my gosh, has been such a pleasure talking to you, Nicholas. Seriously,
Likewise.
congratulations to you, everyone involved, for making such a great, entertaining film. I can't wait for audiences at Garden State Film Festival to see it. Let me tell you how. You can watch it at the Showroom Saturday night, March 25th. 8:30 p.m. to 10:45 p.m. So definitely check it out. Meet Nicholas, and I'm super excited to see you there. Oh, also everyone, check out GSFF.org to get your tickets. You can get screening passes, you get a Parkway pass, which will get you in all the events, all the panels, all the screenings, or you can just buy tickets to the screenings itself. So definitely check out that website and come check out Daniel's Gotta Die.
Thank you so much. I'm
Nicholas.
really excited. Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, thank you. We'll see you at the festival.
Bye, Sophia.
Bye.